Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar live. So I'm Carla Guerrero. I'm an International Admissions Officer here at TBS Education. I'm joined with Kevin Carrillo.
Hello, Carla. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Perfect. Today, we're going to be talking about our MSc program, in particular, our MSc Data Science and Artificial Intelligence program. Before we get to presenting some key figures about TBS Education, we're going to put to you a little video about TBS Education.
Want to open your world and be inspired? If you want to learn with passion and ambition, choose TBS Education. On the campus of your choice in Toulouse, Paris, Barcelona, or Casablanca, you'll be part of a community that spans the globe. So seize your chance to study in over 230 partner universities. Because it's not only about studying, it's about meeting people, making friends, sharing experiences. It's about life. Your way, your voice, your path. Choose excellence. A triply accredited school with flexible courses, a wide range of specializations, and lively campuses. Learn from inspiring teachers and seasoned professionals, all behind you to support your projects and mobility. Let's share our truth. The people you meet along the way are already part of your career. So collaborate with your talented peers, who are all future managers. Gain professional experience through internships, apprenticeships, and double degrees. Progress. Interact with people working for leading international companies. Stand out in the job market. Become eventually an expert in your field. Now is your time to shape and forge your career. Give everything for your future. Get everything in the future. Choose TBS Education.
Perfect. So now we're going to talk about some key figures of TBS Education. So first of all, TBS Education was created in 1903 here in Toulouse. TBS Education has over 6,000 students. 40% of them are international students. 22% of them do have scholarships. We also have 37 student associations. Something that's very important here at TBS Education is also our faculty. So we have 131 resident faculties. 99% of them do have a PhD. International professors, so we have 53% of our professors that are international, and we also have 1,200 external lecturers. So regarding our internationalization, this is something super important here at TBS Education. We have 4 campuses. So as I mentioned, TBS Education was created in Toulouse. Then we also have the campus of Paris, Casablanca, Morocco, and also Barcelona, Spain. Part of our internationalization is also our partner universities. So we have a wide network of partner universities. So over 240 partner universities, and also 120 different nationalities throughout all of our campuses. Also, something very important to note about TBS Education is that we are part of the 1% of business schools that do have the triple accreditations, which is super important when it comes to your studies. So we have these 3 accreditations, international accreditations, so AACSB, EQUIS, and AMBA. So now we're going to move on to the presentation of the MSc Data Science and Artificial Intelligence by Kevin.
Thank you, Carla. So I'm delighted to be presenting the program in these sessions. So probably the first thing that I would like to say is that data science, analytics, and AI is a very, very strong expertise that we've been developing at TBS for the last 13 to 14 years. So part of this expertise, I have to say a few words about myself, just in terms of profile. So I started my career in the geek world. I was a computer science engineer, specialized in mathematics, so very, very geek, which in the end was too much time spent on the screen. And then when I decided to study technology and data science from the business spectrum. So first career as a computer science engineer, then I moved to being a researcher in the field of information systems, and I've been at TBS for the last 14 years, working very actively on developing both the teaching and research expertise when it comes to data analytics and AI.
Kevin, I have a question.
Yes.
How long have you been head of the MSc Data Science and International Artificial Intelligence? Sorry.
I think the current cohort, it's the 8th or the 9th one. I'm not sure. I'm losing count now because this program is actually very, very mature. It's when I think back about all the cohorts of students. Now we've had hundreds of students who went through the program, and now they started or they're in the middle of their very exciting career in the world of analytics and AI. So it's a program that I've been running for quite a while, and that is actually quite strong and well recognized by the industry.
Yeah, perfect.
So why do we join this program? Is it to get a diploma? Yes, probably students want to have a diploma, but really the philosophy of this program is at the end, we joined this program because we're happy to have a diploma at the end, but it's more to get a job. The job market when it comes to analytics and AI is really, really hot, and it's been the case for the last 10 years, and now AI has jumped in, and now even more recently generative AI, so there's lots and lots of job opportunities. So it's to get a job at the intersection of analytics, that we also call data science, and the recent stream on artificial intelligence. So when we say we want to get a job, to become a data science and AI specialist, it's not about accumulating knowledge. It's not about accumulating skills in the world of data science and AI to learn how to program, to analyze data, to use AI, to use machine learning. It's important to understand that it's a very different way of thinking. It's a very different way of working. Because at the end of the day, companies always interested in solving their business problems. And when it comes to analytics and AI, we do solve business problems. But the way we do it is through the analysis of data, through the use of artificial intelligence. So this is why I really like to say and insist on the fact that it's not about just accumulating knowledge. It's a program that transforms you, that changes your work DNA, if I may say, and that makes you a very strong expert in analytics and AI. So starting with data in the business world is always messy. Data in the business world is always a big pile of junk, of very dirty data, and this is not actually easy to turn data into action. And if there is maybe one sentence to translate what we're trying to do within this program is to actually be able to turn data into actionable business recommendation. And to do so, when I spoke about this DNA, let me just illustrate this different way of solving business problems. So a business problem is a business problem, whether you work in marketing, in finance, in HR, in operations, you name all the different functions of a company. It's always about solving business problems and providing a business solution. And we're not different when we work with analytics and AI. However, the way we come up to this actionable business solution is quite different because we rely on data. So to solve a business problem, the first stage that we always do is to find a way to translate a business problem into a data problem. And this is not, it's something easy to say, but it does take a lot of skills and a lot of experience. And then once you get the data, starts the beginning when you're actually discovering your data set, exploring your data set, visualizing your data set, enriching your data set. And then comes the analysis or the modeling, whether it's analytics or AI. You could be building a simple statistical model. You could be building a more advanced machine learning model, deep learning model. You could be designing an AI agent. And this is something that is actually very, very important nowadays in the industry, and students are deeply involved in such projects. And then the last phase of this DNA, and this is where sometimes technical people fail. Like it's often the case when data analysts or data scientists come from engineering school, they stop at the technical solution. They stop at the data solution. But that's not what the company is interested in. So the last phase, which is to translate back your data result, your AI result, into a proper actionable business recommendation, business action, is actually very critical, very important. And this is something that we insist on quite heavily with our students. So we have a very strong academic crew of professors. So having said before that we have developed a very strong expertise, it's very important to highlight that nearly all the instructors are professors from TBS. And this is a very strong point in this program when you compare it to other programs delivered by other schools and universities. Because we've been building this teaching expertise, we've been hiring within our department very talented, very smart professors with strong expertise in data science, in AI, in statistics, in econometrics. And we have a range of professors with a very sharp expertise. And again, most of them have been part of this program for the last 8 or 9 years. So they're also quite mature in the way they approach the teaching, analytics, and AI.
I also wanted to add that actually artificial intelligence is one of TBS Education Centers of Excellence centers.
Yeah, to actually, when TBS Education has been growing this expertise, both in terms of teaching, research, but also collaboration with the industry, came up or emerged this Center of Excellence that is a way to encapsulate all this expertise that we've been gradually accumulating, building up, and now the industry knows quite actually well about the Center of Excellence, and we have lots and lots of collaborations. Which takes me to mentioning few of the partners, because we're benefiting from this strong expertise with the Center of Excellence, with which we are strongly connected. So there is a whole range of partners. I put some names here, but there's quite a lot more. Every year is different in analytics and AI. So from one year to another, the projects that we do with the companies might be different. So we have collaborations with big IT companies like SAP, like IBM, like Microsoft. We collaborate with consulting companies. We collaborate with large firms, obviously Airbus, Pierre Fabre. We do collaborate also with startups, with also data science tool providers, like, for example, Tableau, like the Taiku. And this is just a few names among the multitude of companies with which we interact and collaborate very closely.
I had a quick question about the industrial partners. How do they involve themselves in the MSc Data Science?
There's different ways. So this is one thing I'm going to say. I'm not going to say too much about it because I have something to. I'll be commenting it a bit more in details after. But we actually have regular seminars as part of the curriculum where we have professionals coming up to meet our students.
That's really nice.
And this is something I will get back about it a bit later. We do have lots of projects because now companies, they contacted very regularly because they want to work on projects, R&D involving our students. Again, there's quite a few things that I will be mentioning later. Also, we even have companies with which we launch collaborations with projects on a voluntary basis with the students, and this is outside the curriculum. So with local companies, national companies, international companies.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so students are really in connection to the industry, which is, I think, something extremely important when it comes to studying analytics and AI. So all this to do what? There's a range of jobs, right? So there's a whole range of data jobs. At the very beginning, we thought there was only data scientists, but now within companies, there's a whole range of data jobs like the data analyst, the data strategist, the data scientist, the data steward, the data planner. There's also data consultants. For students who wants to stay more on the business side of things, they might go into digital marketing. So they still play with data, analyze data. They might be doing dashboards. They might be analyzing online data. And then for those who actually want to dive a bit deeper into the technical side of things, they could become data scientists, data engineers also sometimes. And nowadays, we have more and more new jobs coming along this AI frenzy. And for example, the most important jobs nowadays when it comes to AI, and especially generative AI, is the job of prompt engineer. And we actually prepare students for that job, and this is nowadays actually a great opportunity to get like a really cool, really exciting jobs, because a lot is happening in the industry nowadays when it comes to generative AI.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the students, I like to see ourselves as extraterrians, all coming from different planets. Because so we have students from TBS, but the majority of the students are international students. And I say extraterrians for a range of things. For example, it's a very, very diverse program when it comes to nationalities. So this year we have like 12 to 13 different countries, which is really exciting, very enriching for the students. And this is a very enthusiastic cohort, and there's a lot of cultural exchanges, which is, I think, something very important in this program. But in the same time, extraterrians in the sense that they come from different backgrounds. Usually we like to say that analytics and AI comes at the intersection of business, statistics, and computer science. So we do recruit students coming from one of these three streams. So we have people coming from the business background, and in the beginning they're a bit scared that they might not be doing it in the program because they have no programming skills, but this is fine. We do have a lot of students coming from business backgrounds, and they jump into programming in R, in Python, analyzing data, visualizing data, and it is fine. And it's actually quite often that some students coming from the business background after this program dive into the technical side of things and become very talented data scientists.
Yeah, that's actually one of the main questions that we get asked most of the time, frequently, about I'm doing a bachelor's right now, for example, in international business. Do I have the necessary background in order for me to enter the MSc Data Science? It is one of our frequent questions, so it is nice that you actually mentioned that.
The only thing you need to have is that this curiosity, right, into technology overall, into data, into AI, and you start doing a little bit of research, and you'll say there's lots of things around and online. So, and that's enough. When you have this interest, when you have this motivation, then the program is meant for you. So what, with all these extraterrians, I'm also counting myself as an extraterrian with my weird computer science engineering background. The philosophy of the program is built around this diversity. So that there is a pedagogical philosophy that is kind of a spiral where everybody comes from wherever they're coming from in terms of nationality, in terms of country, in terms of educational background, also in terms of work experience. We do get students that have several years of work experience. And all together we spiral through down to the center where we join this common DNA, which I was mentioning a bit before. So this is actually a program where diversity is part of the DNA. It's the main actually strength of this program. And then at the end, we all become kind of hybrids. We kind of become some kind of geek, put in a nice way. And we met at the intersection of statistics, business, computer science with this DNA, again, when it comes to solving business problem. And through the analysis of data, through the implementation of AI technologies and AI solutions. And so we can say that, and this is a word that I use very, very often with students, as the word hybrid. This is what companies are desperately looking for, and this is what we've been doing throughout the last 10 years. The students at the end of this program are, you might call them elephant, you might call them butter elephant. You choose the name which you like the best. They're hybrid. It's very, very important. Why do I say hybrid? It's a student that is both business and tech. When I say tech, it's really around data and AI. This is extremely important because remember the decision making cycle that I presented a bit before? It starts from the business world. It starts from a business problem expressed in business terms.
Yes.
If you don't understand the business problem, if you don't have the business knowledge, there's no point to continue in the process. And then you have to be tech. And both of them, first of all, to translate the business problem into a data problem. This is when your two brains, your tech brain, your biz brain, are actually interconnected and speaking to one another.
Yeah.
Then your tech brain comes up with the analysis, exploration of the data, analysis of the data, modeling of the data, building your AI agents. And again, your business brain is really important when it comes to translating back your solution, your technical solution, into a business action. Because at the end of the day, within companies, the finance director looks at the numbers. So you might have built up a very smart, sophisticated, complex AI agent with the use of generative AI. If it does not create any business value for your company, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like a merge between the two.
Yeah, very important. And that's a word, this term hybrid, that I probably repeat more than 1,000 times throughout the whole program. So this hybridity is reflected in all the courses that students are getting. So there's actually 12 units. I won't go into all the details, but all the courses encompasses these two sides. So every single course is somehow hybrid. There is a business knowledge and always some kind of technical knowledge. So some of the data-driven business and society, for example, I won't go through all of them. It's a bit more introductory. That's something we do in the beginning. It's really to set up this DNA.
Yeah.
And then we come up to more technical things like the machine learning and AI, obviously, which is rather heavy. We focus on generative AI. But then there's also research methods, because students have to write a research thesis in the end.
Yes.
And a whole range of other courses, which I could be detailing. I think, Carla, I'm just going to maybe highlight just a few of them. Not too much the events, because there's a few slides presenting the events after. But for example, when it comes to data science for business, it's important to be able to manipulate data. In the normal business world, people don't use the data. They ask people to give them the data or to give them the data results. So it's very important to be able to speak to your data. It's often done through interaction with databases, SQL, NoSQL. We have a strong emphasis on time series analytics. So this is the very technical courses. Some other programs and courses are a bit less technical, like marketing innovation. But it's something that is important because it strongly connects to data and AI.
Okay. How would you say, like in percentage, how many courses are technical and how many courses like are general?
It's tricky because each course is a mix of both.
Okay.
Right? And because it's, when we say we want students to be hybrid, if you just have courses that are sometimes business, sometimes tech, it's not real hybridity.
Yeah.
You kind of create two separate brains, but you want to make one brain that connects data science, statistics, business, and computer science together. So for each course, the way the tech and biz content is represented is not 50-50 all the time. But for every single course, for sure, there's always a business component and a technical component.
Okay.
So when it comes to the cool stuff, so we run in December a GenAI hackathon. So this year, this is the second year that we're running it since GenAI kicked in. So it's very important that students practice their prompting skills. And even more importantly, and this is something that is extremely important in the industry nowadays as we're speaking, is to be able to design AI agents. And this is something that is not easy, and we dedicate a full week in the form of a hackathon with a real project and a real company.
Wow, that's really interesting. How exactly, what's like the students, what do they have to do for the hackathon concretely?
Yeah, so it's always come from one or two business problems. This year there were two. There was about image generation. The second one was about marketing recommendation generation. And something that is actually illustrating our expertise when it comes to research, students actually follow a methodology that we developed in research within the Center of Excellence, which is something that is published in a highly ranked journal. So students actually follow this methodology, and this gives them very critical, very valuable skills.
Okay, perfect.
And we have a case, and a student who just got an internship in a very large company, local company, which I don't want to name. And just when the students say that she was doing actually this with this hackathon, with this methodology, she got an internship right away on this following day.
So it helped her secure the internship.
Definitely. Gen AI, designing AI agent, very, very critical.
Perfect.
Then, Carla, we have the seminars I started mentioning before. So there's about 10 sessions with all the partners. Every year is different, depending on the availability of the speakers, depending on the new trends. Especially now, there's a bit more attention to generative AI.
Yeah.
So I won't say all the names, but they come. It's usually 2 Thursday morning every month. And this is not a class. It's not a course, right? It's really like a conversation very intimate between one or several professionals and the students who have the right to ask any kind of question. Because at the end of the day, you need to ask the questions about the job, about the career, about the salary, about the work-life balance. And usually students are very shy to ask these questions, but these sessions are meant to be very intimate. So the professionals, they do present an expertise, they do present a topic, which could be the blockchain, which could be setting up your e-commerce on Amazon, which could be a whole range of things. But then it's very important that we have this long discussion in the end where there's no stupid question and students can shoot all the questions that they have in mind.
That's really nice.
So the first one we usually do starts more with a documentary made by Dataiku, followed by a debate, which is actually to get students to understand the impact of data science and AI on our society. So that's usually how we're starting, but it might change in the next years. Like I say, each year is different.
It's different, yeah.
Then there's a consulting mission that lasts for 2 weeks. So this is a bit different here because students are mixed with other students. So it's a real consulting mission that they do for 2 weeks. And it's good to actually connect with other students. So because each student from their respective Master of Science can bring in their own expertise. And that's something that is very valuable and appreciated by the students. Then we have an Airbus Entrepreneurship Hackathon, which is actually starting very soon.
Okay.
So this is 6 MSc programs in doing it. We have the particularity with our program to do it in collaboration with students from the University of Alabama. So they actually, now they're doing some work online to prepare for the event, but these students are coming here in Toulouse.
Okay.
And they're going to be collaborating with our students to work on this hackathon.
Wow, that's really cool.
So as you can see in the image, that the last 2 years, it was with virtual reality devices. So we have like proper devices and training on the devices. This year is on actually satellite image.
Okay.
So really exciting, really fun. And we always finish the program with the datathon.
Yes.
Yeah, which is now becoming a bit famous here. It started to be internal. And now we open it up to other universities, which we invite. So every year is different. But recently we had like the students from the University of Galway who came up. So a student from MTNU, which is a strong university from Norway. But this time it's not a course, it's an event. So it's a 48 hours, very intense data science competition. But it's fun. Not much sleep, a lot of candies, and a lot of data.
Yeah, no, it's famous. The Datathon, you hear speak about it. As soon as March comes in, everyone is talking about Datathon.
And students, even like the ones who did the Datathon 8 or 9 years back, they still speak about
it. It's quite famous.
And then we do have a bunch of certifications, quite important, quite recognized by the industry. One is on cloud computing, because nowadays, when it comes to data science, data analytics, it happens on the cloud. It doesn't happen on physical service. So it's important that students have notions about cloud computing. Then a second Microsoft certification on data science and AI on Azure. So this is why you're connecting your data science and AI skills on cloud computing, which makes the first certification important. And then there is a data visualization certification, which is the Tableau Desktop Specialist one, which is actually one that is quite well perceived by the industry. So this is something the students do in parallel throughout the course of this.
Okay, that are included in the course.
Yes, this is a part of the curriculum.
Yes.
A few other things to mention. It's very important when we spoke about this DNA that we don't rely only on one tool, right? If you're just given one screwdriver to fix everything in your house, right? If you get the metaphor, it doesn't work. Sometimes you need a screwdriver size 12, size 10, size 8. Sometimes you need a hammer. Sometimes you need something else. So it's very important to not make students dependent on the tools. Like I like to tell students, you guys drive your truck. And whenever you need a certain tool to fix something, you pick up the tool that is the right one. So students do use a range of tools, so RStudio for programming and Tableau, but Tableau is for data visualization, but we also use Power BI. We use a whole range of tools because it's important that students see beyond the tool so that they understand the concepts. And once you know one tool, if you understand the concept, then you can switch to another tool and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Do students need a background, let's say like before entering the MSc, do they need to be able to be familiar with those tools? Is it recommended?
Not much. Usually what we like to tell students who want to prepare, which is a good idea, we say there's three things that would be nice. Number one is programming with R, and there's a whole range of tutorials and resources online, and we can also provide resources that we have and that we give to students when they request that. The second thing, if they can, is to start looking into data and especially SQL, just to understand the concept of database and manipulating databases. So again, basic knowledge. There's a whole range again of resources online, and we can give some resources also. And the last one might be the one that will sound the scariest, but if you want to be an expert in analytics and AI, there is no choice. You have to be strong in statistics. No choice.
Yeah.
Because the way to make data speak is through statistics. So don't get scared. A lot of people are scared by statistics, but we actually teach and learn statistics in a very hands-on, practical way. So statistics, for us, it's not in the form of equations. We're not trying to demonstrate theorems, which is not very useful to companies. It's very understand statistical concepts, statistical notions. So basic statistics. These are the three things that we usually recommend students to prepare.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kevin.
So I spoke about DNA, I spoke about philosophy and a few other words. It's important to insist that there are core values within this program. Diversity is one, obviously, and it's there on this slide. It's a program that promotes really a collective spirit. And this is the only way we make it. People who don't know how to program, they actually study with people who know how to program. I encourage students to self-organize study groups. For example, so collective spirit, a lot of collaboration, a lot of sharing. Obviously, there's a little bit of a geek flavor. And as the courses go, when we move on to the second semester, it starts to be geeker and geeker, if I may say. And motivation and passion. You know, when you want to work on data and AI, I think what makes us very special and unique in a way is a sense of passion. And this is something that I try hard to communicate. And I think when you're passionate about what you do, it's a very, very different way of doing your job. Because you have to jump from your bed and you're actually happy to go to work and work on really cool things that make you very excited. So all these values are actually embedded within every mechanism, every course, every event, even in the syllabus. So this is a collective journey. So we all embarked in the same raft. But since we're a little bit geek, I would rather that we all embark within the same spaceship. So I hope people listening to us, I hope you're all ready to join this adventure, which is actually a life-changing one.
Perfect. Before we head on to the next slide, Kevin, I do have a question from the chat, which is, can you give more details of the Datathon?
Yes. Datathon lasts for 2 days. So we tell nothing to the students in terms of nothing to be. It's all actually about applying the skills, right? So there's nothing to prepare. They're coming on, usually it's a Monday morning, and the company is there. The company is there, they're presenting their business problem, and we tell students that, guys, you have 48 hours to solve it. But then, so the schools are competing against each other. So the teams are allocated there, and then it's an event, you know. So there's the data challenge, but in the same time we have actually cool things happening along the way. It's properly an event. So students have to do a whole bunch of funny things. They have to create videos. They have a spontaneous challenge that we didn't tell that they have to do to win a few extra points. So it's actually just fun. It's really for using the skills that students learn and have a lot of fun.
Perfect. So just know if you enter the MSc Data Science and Artificial Intelligence, you'll be participating in the funness of the Datathon. So now we can move on to our student testimony. So we'll have Francesca joining us. Hi, Francesca. How are you?
Hi, Carla. I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. So I wanted to ask you some questions, but first of all, I wanted you to be able to present yourself, present a little bit about your background. What made you choose the city of Toulouse to come and do your double degree? And also what made you choose the MSc Data Science, most importantly?
Those are really important questions, Carla. And I think it's really interesting for all the people that are considering studying in Toulouse, and especially doing this master program. So for a bit of my background, I was studying, and I concluded the studies in economics and international business. So let's say that when Kevin mentioned that there was a bunch of students from the business side, I am one of them, actually. So, I also had like studies done in Germany, and actually the way that I got to know TVS as well was from a university, which I find this is a really a strong competitive advantage from TVS, that was also mentioned, that has really strong partners all around the world, and one of that was my German university. So that was the way that I reached through TVS, and I'm really glad that I did it. So regarding what made me choose to study in Toulouse, well, Toulouse is known as the I think it's called the Pink City, if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And besides, of course, this amazing information that I can give you, Toulouse is a very alive city. It's really, you can feel the atmosphere from the students. It's a really international city because we have all around the world, you can see it in the streets. And if you always feel like maybe coming abroad as well, because I come from Peru, if you feel that you will be bored or you will miss your family, of course you will do, but you will find lots of things to do. And I think one important, let's put it in this way, for not just from our study program, but I guess from the TVS, is that it gives you different types of tools and like events to integrate to the city, which is really nice, especially when you're a newcomer or you're a newbie here in Toulouse. So and regarding why I choose the MSc, because it's really interesting at what Kevin mentioned. And if you would ask me, for example, I feel everything it's becoming data if it's not already is data. And having the I would say this unique characteristic that not just being a business major, but also knowing how to transform this data into actionable like steps or a proposal for the company can make you stand out. So when first starting like to choose about like what is the professional thing or what is the professionalization that I want to do, I was considering that this would be a really, not just an add-on, but something that I was really passionate and really wanted to pursue it. And why TVS itself, besides, of course, the certifications, the Triple Crown is mentioned. It's one of the few business schools in the world that has this high standard. It's also that it's really well connected. And I believe that when we are students, of course, our objective is to learn a lot, but also to find a job. And of course, this is a challenge nowadays because I think the market overall, it's pretty saturated. So really finding something that makes you different or even being connected like to some companies can really make a big difference. And for example, I really want to highlight one thing that I enjoy most about the program is that we can really have a real impact with what we do. So for example, Kevin mentioned like the hackathon that we had. That was a week that was an intense week, I can tell, also from my experience. But also, besides that, we got the chance to collaborate with this company to give them, for example, a real input, from real input, a real output, which was like a sales forecasting. Yeah. And it was really nice because we got to talk directly with like the data scientist from the company, and he gave us real insights on how it really works, how are we supposed to do it in our daily basis. And I think this is also really nice, a really nice add-on that we can have as part of our education. So this type of things, it really makes TVS stand out, and I think that's the reason why I chose the program and also the school.
Thank you so much, Francesca. Are you looking forward to the Datathon?
Yeah, 100%. I think like now when I talk to my friends, especially the last 2 weeks from this previous semester were really intense. It's kind of like now we're used to this rhythm. And I find that the challenges that we face was like, and Kevin mentioned, is very hybrid because we have not just like, let's put it like the technical side, which is really, really heavy if you are getting challenged. For example, if you're learning in programming or coding, I think this is a challenging issue, but also we got the combination of on how to apply it.
Yeah.
We don't just learn like you have to do this, use this command for this. We learn it why we use this. We learn the foundation behind, and also, which is most importantly, how this can be used for this context. So we have real projects. I feel this is way more important. For example, when you want to put this on your CV, that you do not only know how to use, for example, Python or R. It's like how you use the to real solve a business issue or a real problematic. So yes,
real and practical learning.
Exactly.
And one last question: do you have probably any idea of what would you like to do, like in the future?
Yes.
Do you want to stay here in France to work? Do you have any ideas of what's for the future?
That's such a really good question as well. And like, I'm not so old, guys, actually, but I'm really trying to figure this out. But like, what tells me is that I would like to stay within Europe, perhaps explore opportunities as well here in France, but also in Germany, because like of the alliance between the universities, the double degree, exactly. But what I would like to do, it's of course to still use the technical side, but more into a data consulting way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of business people, they really need to know how to integrate, how to keep updated. And I feel this is something, a hot topic that we learn how to do it at TBS. And it's really like we're ready to apply it. And like, yes, so I would really like to go into this direction.
As we were saying with Kevin, a merge of both.
A hybrid, exactly. Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to check in the chat to see if we have some questions.
Sure.
For now, no, we don't have any questions right now. So thank you so much, Francesca, for your testimony. So I hope that everything goes well with the future. I hope that you're gonna kill the Datathon.
Yeah, let's go.
And now we're going to pass on to the admission process.
Sure. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you. Perfect. So now for the admission process. So the most important thing, we got all the information about the program. We got a student testimony, and now the main question is how to apply. What are the requirements? So in terms of admission requirements, so a student must be 32-year-old or under. You must have at least a 3-year bachelor degree, knowing that our MSCs do come now in 2 formats. So it can be 2-year or a 1-year program. You must have a B2 English level. So on the screen, you'll have the test that we do accept. So IELTS, TOEIC, TOEFL, Cambridge, and also Duolingo. And part of the admission process is actually passing an online motivational interview. So here are all the documents that you need in order to submit your application file, because the admission process goes in 2 terms. So the application file and also, as mentioned, the online interview. So you do need your high school degree or an enrollment certificate, your transcript of grades, which is very important, proof of English, as I mentioned. If you have recommendation letters, it's not mandatory, but it's also always helpful. Your CV, motivation letter, passport, and a photo, of course. Here's a little bit about the admission process. So we do have, let's say, 5 big steps, knowing that you start your application with while creating your application file. You upload all of your documents. Each step usually takes 3 to 5 days. Once we verify that all of your documents and your application file is in order, you pass this online interview, which is actually corrected. And once we receive that you are accepted, we do send you an acceptance email. In this email, there is the mention of filling in your administrative file, signing your enrollment contract, and also paying a deposit fee that is needed in order to secure your spot. And then once we receive all of those 3 elements, you will receive automatically your admission letter, which is the official full document that allows you to apply for your visa and that states that you're fully enrolled in TBS education. In terms of tuition fees and scholarships, which is one of the questions that we do get a lot. So depending on your case, as I mentioned, you have the MSCs, the DSMSCs that are 2-year. For the pricing, you'll have it on the screen. There's also the possibility of doing it in 1 year, so the MSc of 1 year. And in terms of scholarships, we do have scholarships that go from 10 to 35% of a discount on your tuition fees, depending on your academical profile, on your GPA, and also on the grade that you get during your your online motivation interview. Knowing that one of them is actually the 10% early bird discount, and you can currently benefit from it. It depends. It arrives on the first arrive, first serve basis. So if we do have some left, you can be able to benefit of it until the 15th of February of this year. Knowing that also applications deadline are end of June of this year for the intake of September 2026. So thank you so much for tuning into our webinar. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Carla.
I'll check if we have some questions in the chat. So they asked what English level is required. So as I mentioned, a B2 level is needed in one of the 5 English tests, official tests that were in the screen. We do have another question. So when do application close as well? So as I mentioned, they close end of June of this year for the intake of September 2026. There was also a question for you, Kevin. Which programming language will be learned during the program?
So we mainly focus on 2 programs, which are R and Python. So we usually start the first semester with R, which is actually a language a bit easier to pick up when it comes to learning programming. This is a language more focusing on actually statistical analysis. But then we quickly jump into Python, which is more and more becoming the main language that is used when it comes to data science and AI.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I'm going to check if we have any other questions. No. So we've answered all of the questions on the chat, and I think that's it for us. It's a wrap. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you.
It was really nice hearing about the MSc Data Science, hearing more details about it and all of the events included.
Yeah, don't hesitate to join the adventure. Life-changing, a lot of fun, a lot of passion.
Totally. Thank you.